Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm reviewing episode 6 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier titled One World, One People. This is the season or maybe series finale, and there are massive spoilers ahead, so watch that before you continue with this video. I thought that this was a pretty good finale, much tighter than WandaVision's, and I think it wrapped up the show fairly well, but there were still some problems. I want to start out with the positives though, and I loved Sam Wilson in this episode. Finally seeing him become Captain America was such a great moment. His entrance was awesome. The action scenes with him were just absolutely incredible. I liked Sam's flying action earlier in this show, especially in episode 1, because he hasn't really gotten to do that in the movies. But him having the shield and that outfit and the wings with like the jetpack and like Red Wing, it's a great combination. That being said, I do think that the suit relies a little bit too much on technology. That scene where he was like lifting up the truck with the 2 Red Wing drones, that just reminded me exactly of what Iron Man did in Spider-Man Homecoming. And so I didn't love that, but I'm hoping that Sam won't be too reliant on technology in future appearances. The way he used the jetpack to like kind of boost his strength though in that scene and against Batroc, I thought that was awesome. And I love the suit in general. I didn't like the toy design very much. I thought that there was too much white. I do still kind of feel like there's too much white, but it doesn't look anywhere near as bad as I thought it would, quite honestly. I really ended up loving it, and he's the perfect Captain America. I'm so happy that he's Captain America now. I have to say, his speech scene with the senators, everyone's talking about how amazing that is, and I do think that it was a pretty good speech. But I just found it to be a little bit dumb, honestly, because everything he was saying, I totally agreed with it. And I really liked where he was coming from. But the politics of this show have been running in the background so much, and they've never been head-on addressed like that. So I think it was really weird to address it so blatantly when it's been like barely mentioned and has been, frankly, not well developed throughout the entire show. And then I also thought it was really stupid how the GRC stopped all of their plans just because Sam Wilson, dressed as Captain America, told them not to do it. I don't know. I really feel like that moment needed more build up because the politics in this show and Carly's story and the GRC, all of that stuff was horribly handled and is honestly the worst problem with the entire series. And I do want to talk about Carly here because I thought that she was a really interesting character in the earlier episodes, and as early as episode 3, I predicted her death, like, perfectly. I knew that she would end up dying in his arms, like, crying, having, like, this tearful thing, but it wasn't earned in this episode at all, because Carly is a horrible villain. She's an interesting character, but she's just so poorly developed, and the whole political situation is so poorly developed, that having her die in Sam's arms after trying to shoot him point blank in the head like 2 seconds earlier and then being like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, why are you sorry now? Nothing has built up to that point. And she's just killing everyone for no reason. And the other Flag Smashers are totally okay with it. It just makes no sense at all. And I really hate what they did to her character because if it was done better, she would have been a great villain. But instead, she just wasn't. Everything that Sam was saying about her at the end, like how people believed in her cause and how like they have just as much power as a misguided teenager, that was very powerful. And I really loved that. But Carly did not deserve any of that because she wasn't like a nuanced or well done villain. I do love the closure that Isaiah got, though. I thought that the moment when he was watching Sam be Captain America on TV, again, I really liked Sam's speech. I just kind of like don't love the background stuff, you know, like behind the scenes a little bit. But that was so powerful, like watching Isaiah like see the world react to a black Captain America. And Isaiah's ending was perfect. I love that Sam found a way to honor him in the museum to make sure that no one forgets his legacy, but Isaiah is still allowed to live that peaceful life that he wants away from like all of like the torture of his past. Because people know what he did, but they don't know who he is. And I do like that ending. I would have loved a more explicit tease for his grandson Eli, because he is Patriot of the Young Avengers. So I thought that could have been hinted at a little bit maybe, but that doesn't really bother me because I think it was nice that he was scattered throughout these episodes. And of course we will be seeing him again in the future. Bucky was also fantastic in this episode. I really loved like his interactions with pretty much every character, you know, like with Sharon, with Sam. His reaction to seeing Sam become Captain America was just perfect. And I love that he, you know, had the Wakandans make Sam a new Red Wing and everything, even though he doesn't like Red Wing. I just thought that their relationship has developed so well and they are just so cute together. And I really, really hope that Bucky is a big part of Captain America 4 because that is being made. It was announced on Friday. And I'm very glad that it was announced because now we don't need to worry about where we're going to see these characters next. I also thought that his resolution with Mr. Nakajima was okay. I just thought that the scene was kind of weird. I thought that it would be more emotional. The ending was a little bit rushed. Like just the scenes transitioned very quickly. I don't necessarily think they needed to spend more time on things. And I thought that that final beat with him staring in at the girl that he went on the date with and how like Mr. Nakajima was happy again, like him kind of from the outside looking in, that was a great moment. But again, everything just kind of rushes by a little too quickly. But I'm very happy that he found the closure that he needed. And his scene with Sam in Louisiana, I love that scene so much. That is such a strong ending for this series. Like finally seeing these people be happy, especially Bucky, and getting to just like enjoy life, it was absolutely perfect. John Walker had a major switch up in this episode that I was not expecting at all. Honestly, I kind of have a whiplash because he went insane like so fast in episode 5, like coming in from episode 4 to 5. Like that was super rushed how unhinged he got, but I was like, okay, it's good. Like let's stick with this. And I thought that he was still unhinged, like while he was making the shield. He's clearly delusional because he still thinks that he's Captain America. And yet in the finale, he's all like jokey and buddy-buddy. Again, I liked it in the finale too. I loved his little like team up with Bucky. I loved that he got his hero moment and that he dropped his stupid little shield that he never should have made in the first place. And he had a fantastic ending with Val and finally getting like the black US agent costume. I'm just confused about his character development because it's been like so like ziggy-zaggy and so fast just in like the last 3 episodes that, like I said, I kind of have whiplash. Also, like that scene with Val took place in the courtroom and he was like, oh, like, yay, I'm back. So does that mean that the government is like fine with him now? Does the public like him? I don't know. I just feel like there's a little bit of confusion about that. So is he like now a government sanctioned hero? I'm guessing he has to be because I assume that Ross is involved and that this is relating to the Thunderbolts. There weren't really any teases of that, which I'm fine with because like US agent is good enough, but I do wish that that was just clarified a little bit more. Zemo also had the perfect ending. I was sad that the other Flag Smashers died because I kind of liked them and I don't think they deserved that. But I did like that we got to see the raft again and Zemo was just sitting in there chilling after having completed his mission. So I'm very excited for where he's going to pop up next. Now let's get into what I think is the biggest problem of the show aside from Carly, and that's Sharon Carter. She's the power broker. Okay, it was glaringly obvious in the last couple of episodes. They really made no attempt to hide it. I don't know. I kind of wish that they had revealed it earlier, at least to the audience, because it's just so ridiculous that she's the power broker. It doesn't make any sense. So the only official confirmation we have is that Sharon Carter was blipped, like from that picture in Endgame. Now, she could have just been hiding out underground. She might not have been blipped. 7 years would give her time to accrue power and influence in Madripoor. But still, like, we last saw her stealing a shield, and now she's ruling a pirate island and is recreating super soldier serum. That is such a huge character jump with absolutely no attempt at an explanation. And that's really bothering me because it's like, how did she claw her way through society? How did she take out the first power broker? Because Zemo knew about a power broker, so there had to be one before her. I really hate how none of that makes any sense, and they don't even try to explain it. They just like brush right past it. But that being said, I think that Sharon's a great villain. She's so much more interesting now than she ever was in Winter Soldier and Civil War. And having her like be in the government and be able to like sell secrets is a super interesting concept. I just hate how it got here because she is like the whole villain motivation is that like the US government turned their back on her, which is stupid in the first place because they pardoned Bucky, who was a mass murderer against his will, yes, but he still murdered tons of people. And yet they wouldn't pardon Sharon Carter for 7.5 years because she stole a shield. that's like it's just so ridiculous. It doesn't make any logical sense. But I do like where she ends up. I do kind of hope that she's a Skrull, though, because I don't know. I feel like you need a really good explanation for why she's a villain now, and they didn't even bother trying to provide one. As for Lego set ideas, I do think that the finale provides us with some pretty great opportunities. I really loved the helicopter scene where Sam like kind of had to like team up with that senator or like other government woman to save everyone. I really liked that, and I would love to see that made into a set, like a $20 helicopter set, or make it bigger and throw in 2 vehicles. You could also have the truck that like the Flag Smashers were using, and like there are side builds that you could do. You could build in an exploding feature, and you could have minifigures of John Walker, Bucky, Sam as Captain America, and Carly, which would be perfect. So I would really like if like that was made into a set, and honestly, if Lego was making a set for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think that would be the strongest contender. So overall, I think that I would rate the finale an 8 out of 10, maybe slightly lower to like a 7.5, but I don't know, like even 7.5 just feels a little bit too low for me to rate it, because I did really enjoy it, and Sam and Bucky's development was perfect. The problem is that just like WandaVision, only the 2 main characters having good development isn't good enough for the entire show. Falcon and the Winter Soldier still had the exact same problems with the villains that WandaVision did, but at least the show tried to develop them halfway. WandaVision didn't even attempt to do that. But I don't know, like to me, this is just a worrying trend emerging where now we have 2 completed Disney Plus series, both with major flaws with the villains, and both only truly sticking the landing on the main character stories. And I just really hope that this is a result of the pandemic, because I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier was impacted more so in the early episodes by cutting out that pandemic storyline. And I mean, the production company for the show was called Pandemic Productions LLC. They definitely removed something. And I think WandaVision's ending was impacted more. So I'm hoping that the problems I have with both of these shows are COVID driven, and that stuff like Loki and Hawkeye and Miss Marvel aren't going to have the same problems. Because I just really think that you shouldn't have such weak, horribly developed villains in shows when you have so much time to actually explore them. I'm very excited to see where Captain America 4 takes Sam and hopefully Bucky. It hasn't been confirmed that it'll revolve around Sam, but it clearly will, because he's now Captain America and it's being written by the same people that worked on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I'm very happy that that was confirmed, because like I said, otherwise I'd be trying to connect the dots. Like, oh, could Bucky show up in the Wakanda series? Could Sharon be tied into Armor Wars? Sharon should definitely be tied into Armor Wars. She should be the one selling like Stark technology through the government somehow. But I'm just really excited to see this corner of the MCU being built out more. And I love that we got a great new Captain America from this show. Which I do want to mention, the title change that they did at the end was perfect. I would have preferred Captain America and the White Wolf, because I do not think that they should still be calling Bucky the Winter Soldier. But again, that's a pretty minor complaint. So overall, I really enjoyed the series, and the finale was, like I said, pretty decent. So that's it for today. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and check out my website, goldenninja3000.com. I'll see you guys with more videos soon. Bye for now.